Living in a vehicle during college has allowed me to stay out of debt, travel. Yeah, buddy! Graduate in 3 years with a 3.97 GPA and 2 degrees, and create lasting relationships that are going to last me the rest of my life. Hello, my name is Eli Peterson, and this is my humble abode. During my college career, my freshman year, I stayed in a college dorm, had a typical dorm life, paid way too much for housing, and then I was tired of that, so I moved out and built myself a truck camper on the back of the truck I had. Lived in that for about a year, realized I didn't need a truck that nice, sold the truck, bought this van with my tax return, and I've been living in this van ever since. And it's been amazing. It's really benefited my college career, and I'm making this video not to show off, not to brag or anything, but to share that you don't have to go into immense amounts of debt just to get a college degree. Today I thought I'd just take you through an average day of what it was like living inside of here. I graduated a couple months ago, but I never had time to make a video, so I thought today I'd make a video just to show what it's like and answer some of the questions that I've been getting. So we're in a Walmart parking lot right now, right next to my school, and this is where I spent most of my nights when I was sleeping around here. And I had a couple other spots. There's one right down the street next to a field that I'd sleep at, or there's a couple of vacant homes that I'd park in front of and sleep. And there's a bunch of different areas. I try to change it up every once in a while, just so I'm not staying in the same place every night. But this is awesome. Every morning I can go in and get the discount bread, all the stuff from the deli that goes on discount. I get that for lunch. And then at nighttime I can walk in. I've got a full-size stove in here, so I can walk in, I get my produce, and I can make up a meal and stuff. So yeah, a lot of people ask about food, and I have a cooler in another cabinet, and then I have a stove. I cook regular meals. Sorry, before I make the rest of this video, I gotta have my morning coffee. So the main question I get always is money, money, money. And from an early age, I knew my parents wouldn't be able to financially help me with college. So I worked hard in high school and was able to get academic scholarships, which I'm very thankful for. But besides that, every summer since my freshman year, I've been fighting forest fires, and that's been paying me all right. But besides that, I've been just living very frugally, as you can tell. And that's allowed me to not have to work during school, which means I've been able to take at least 18 credits a semester and graduate in 3 years. And people ask about my grades. It's like, you can't have good grades. You're living in a van and you're traveling all the time. Truth is, I graduated with a 3.97, and that's also because of the van, I think. For example, if I want an internet connection, I would go to the library and I'd spend a lot of time in the library. And yeah, I'd mess around some, but for the most part, I'd be studying. And whenever I was bored at night, or like I get in bed, it's already dark outside, I just read my textbooks. So it's really helped me with grades, and money-wise, I've been able to save a lot of money ever since moving out of my apartment. Instead of paying rent to the apartment, I've just been paying rent to myself and putting that into the stock market. So it's been doing all right, and now I've graduated. I've got a good amount of money that I can go to graduate school and pay for it in cash if I want to, or I can just travel the world. So we'll see what I do with it. So the coffee's ready, so let's... Oh man, how did that happen? What? Anyway, the coffee's pretty much ready, so let's head to school. I made a mess. So one of the main reasons I got out of my truck camper and moved into this van was so that I could get into the driver's seat without ever getting out. Because it gets cold here in the winter, and I hated having to get out and get everything set up just to get into the seat. Let's go to school. school. It's a very short commute, which saves on gas because this thing doesn't get the best of gas mileage. But this is Utah Valley University. I'm gonna go try to find parking in this mess. So I'm in the library right now. This is where I normally start every day. And besides schoolwork, I also come here to charge up the batteries. So I'm missing one, but I can just plug in here. There's actually one time that I brought my rice cooker in here and cooked rice in here while I was studying. Don't tell the librarian about that one. And I spend a lot of time here. Normally every morning I spend a couple hours doing homework, doing research, trying to figure my life out and stuff, you know? So after the morning at the library, normally every morning I head to the gym. I normally spend some time every morning here, and then I also take my showers here. So I do a quick workout and then get in the shower, and it's free, cheap, and I got soap too. So especially when it's getting close to wildland firefighting season, I try to run like 1.5 miles a day. And that's just like my morning routine. Come here, run, do a little lifting, and then take a shower and act like any other kid and go to school. So I actually got basketball scholarships, and I still play every once in a while, mostly just to see if I can still play. But I decided I didn't want to be in a locker room like this and a gym all day long my whole college life. So instead, I'm the man in a van down by the river, just traveling around the country while getting a pretty good education. So that's that. I'm gonna take a shower and then act like a regular kid and blend right in with everyone else. So I make some YouTube videos here and there just showing what my life is like, but I get a lot of questions, and lots of them are the same, so I thought I would try to answer some of those questions.
Where do you go to the bathroom?
So for bathroom, I spend most of my time at school, and when I'm not at school, I'm normally out in the mountains. So when I'm at school, I use those bathrooms. When I'm in the mountains, I use the mountains or any bathrooms around there. And then at nighttime, I can walk into Walmart because it's 24 hours. And besides that, nowadays you can really find public bathrooms pretty much anywhere in most cities.
Where do you shower?
Same as bathrooms, mostly at school. And then other times I use biodegradable soap and go in the river. But yeah, a little stereotypical, sorry.
Do you ever have any problems with cops harassing you?
Actually one time I had a cop come up on me, and it was my fault. I was sleeping in an area that I probably shouldn't have been sleeping. And all he cared about was he thought I was some pothead. So he's like, where's all the pot? And I was like looking through. But no one really believes me when I say I don't smoke pot, because I get a lot of questions asking about where do you hide your bongs? Where do you hide all your weed? But yeah, I'm too frugal of a person to buy weed, and I don't even like it.
So where do you hide your bong?
I don't have a bong.
How much do you spend a month living in a van?
So it really depends, and for a while I was like super extreme frugal minimalism, and during that time it was about $300 a month, spending up to $10 a day, and that included like gas and stuff. And I was traveling then because I was taking online classes, so I couldn't travel very far a day. But yeah, $10 a day, and I lived on that for a couple months. But nowadays it varies by month, but I try to live on about 20% of my income, so I'm still saving a lot of money.
If there was anything you could change about the experience, what would you change?
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I mean, they have nicer vans and bigger vans. Maybe a van I could stand up in, but then again, this thing was $1,500, so I'm not complaining at all.
So what is dating like while living in a van?
Well, you better ask my long-term 3-year girlfriend that. What's dating a homeless vagabond transient like?
I met him before he became a vagabond.
Oh, but you still love me?
Yes. I thought the idea was good. I think the tiny house movement is really unique, and it's a good way to avoid debt. And so I thought he was just very smart and financially just had it kind of figured out, which is weird at his age because he's younger than me.
Whoopsies. I actually talked to her because she just graduated a little bit after me, and I talked her into moving in for a little bit, and we just finished an amazing West Coast, I guess I'll call it amazing. How was our month-long West Coast trip?
It was amazing.
Still got bumps on your head though?
Yeah.
It's funny, she's shorter than me, but she hit her head all the time, and I never hit my head in here.
It's a short van.
It's not the size that matters.
So, how do you afford living? Do you have a job?
So every summer I've been fighting wildfires, and I worked for a couple different crews. Last summer was a hotshot crew that I worked for. And when I'm working for them, I work about 14 days in a row and I get about 2 days off. So that's one of the reasons why I moved into a van, was because there's no use renting an apartment when you're only home a couple days a month. So I work 16 hours a day for pretty much all summer long, and I save 80-90% of that money so that I have plenty for the rest of the year to focus on school and travels.
Would, Eli,
Yes.
you're selling the van.
Yes, I'm selling it today actually because we're moving out of the country.
Would you ever do this again?
Tough question. I think it depends a lot on the lifestyle I'm living, and that depends a lot on the job I have. But in this size of van, it's pretty hard with two people. We made it, but we had some struggles. So if I ever did it again, I think I'd go a little bit bigger if I was with two people. If I was with one person, no problem.
What has been your worst experience while living in the van?
Ooh, this was probably my junior year of college. Got food poisoning while sleeping in the Walmart parking lot, and it was in January, so far below freezing. Same day I figured out the heater in the van was broken. So I was too afraid of sleeping in the bed in my sleeping bag because I was going to puke. I was puking every 30 minutes. So I was shivering in a ball outside of my van, puking every 30 minutes in my socks, and it was just the worst time ever. Finally, you came and saved me in the morning because I could hardly walk because I was just on the ground all night long shivering in a parking lot. Yeah, I felt kind of lonely that night. I was like, what is this life? What have I put myself into? But I kind of like those miserable experiences because they just make the good experience that much better. But yeah, she actually came and rescued me that morning because I could hardly walk. I was just like lying on the ground next to the van. It was bad. Yeah, that wasn't a good night. Now, besides that, I've had a lot of good experiences.
Okay, so what is the best experience that you've had living in a van?
Best experience has got to be all the travels I've been able to do. I've traveled all of Utah, all the West Coast, and I've done it cheaply. I'm not in debt. I'm still saving money. And I just loved it, as well as all the people I meet along the way and all the relationships I've been able to build because of my travels.
What are your plans now that you're going to be selling the van?
So, selling the van today. Then in a couple weeks, we'll be going over to Thailand. And I still have a fair amount of money saved up, so we're going to go over to Thailand because I'm actually waiting to get accepted into grad school right now. Going to Thailand, and we're going to be scuba diving for about 2 months. You're going to get your master scuba diver certification. And she's in the process of applying to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, NOAA. So yeah, that's our plans for now. We'll see where this crazy adventure of life takes us. Well, that's about all for this video. I've loved living in a van, and I hope I've inspired others to at least consider it and see there's other ways to go to school and other ways to live life than just what society recommends you to do.